Andy and I have moved outside the big greenhouses at Johnny Appleseed, and this is located where now? What's our address out here?
It's 7155 Zero Road.
Yeah, Zero Road. That's right.
Yeah.
And we're going to kind of show you how to plant a tree. Now, the hard part he's already done. He didn't want me to do any of that because he knew I couldn't dig a hole. But you've dug a hole.
We have. Yep.
Now obviously the size of the hole depends upon the size of the tree, I would think.
It does. Yep. A good rule of thumb for your hole size would be to have it 6 inches wider than the ball of your tree all the way around.
Okay.
And that gives you a good area where we can mix in some nice potting soil with it.
Right.
And really help out, because our Wyoming soils they're nice. There's no soil I like better than Wyoming, but it doesn't hurt to add a little bit of the good dark soil that we make here at the greenhouse.
Okay. And then the tree itself, this is a Colorado spruce. Is that what you're saying?
It is. Yep. Yeah. This is a blue spruce. Yeah. We just so happen to have this hole, so it works out pretty good for us because we can plant this and at the same time show people how to do it.
Okay, let's get started now. So we got the hole dug, right?
Yep. And so
how deep?
The depth of the hole usually about 2 or 3 inches deeper than your pre-existing root ball, and the reason for that is so that you can mix in a little bit of your good black dirt to go underneath and then walk it in. And we've already done that in this hole. Okay. And so all we have to do now is we'll tip this over and get this fabric off. You can see this root bag.
Yeah.
This stimulates good growth underground during the process when we have it here at the tree farm, but then once it goes to your house, you want to take this off so that it doesn't restrict root growth.
Okay.
So we gently tip the tree down.
Just kind of roll it then is what you're doing?
Yep, nice and easy, roll it. And then use your knife to cut down the side of the bag and clear across the bottom.
It just kind of peels right off.
Just like Velcro, yep.
It does.
You want to try to keep your ball in good shape as you're putting it into the hole. So we try to remove as much of this as we can while it's out of the hole.
Now that soil looks like a nice deep rich soil that...
It does, yeah. What this is what we're actually going to put in the hole here now. When we plant these originally here, we mix in some of our potting soil, and so that's why it's this good rich dark dirt. And then we're going to do the same thing as we go into the hole. Okay. These trees are so heavy most of the time that you can't lift them. And
so you just kind of roll it then?
Either to have a friend or have it in a position where you can roll it right into the hole.
Okay.
Having done this a few times, I know pretty much right where to put it anyway. So then I just kind of walk it into the hole and
boom,
right down into the hole. And then I'll grab it and I'll just pull back against the side of the hole to get it centered in the hole.
Okay.
The next step, I like to get all this good dirt that was with it when it was originally planted in there, so I put that on top. And then I'll take some of our potting soil here. You can use potting soil, or some people prefer to use things like the black gold soil conditioner.
That's what we have over here, Andy?
Right, yep. And that's a mix of pre-composted material, and it has bat guano and some other mycorrhizal elements in it to help your tree grow. So you can use that, or even straight peat moss. I prefer to use either pre-mixed potting soil or the things like the black gold, because with peat moss you have to mix it so well in with your dirt or else it can cause your tree problems, that with these it takes less mixing and less work, and it's less likely to have a problem with it later on.
And this potting soil is again, what's it made up of? Again,
in essence, our potting soil is peat. It's a mix of peat and sand and a few other ingredients. The white that you see in there is just a lightener, and what that does is make it so that in our container gardens and other things, it's not quite as heavy. For the tree, it makes no difference one way or the other, the white, but the peat and the sand make a good mix. And by having it pre-mixed, you can see that this is all pre-mixed. By not having any solid peat moss, it makes it so that when we're out here, if some of this gets in the hole without getting mixed, it's okay. Whereas with peat moss, you have to have a good mix, because if you don't, the peat will form a water barrier layer and then your plant can't drink properly. So I like to, on spruces, I'll lift up the branches.
So we just kind of poured this on the outside of the hole, really? Right?
I did, yep. Yeah. I poured this on top of our pre-existing soil, and as I put it in, I'm going to mix it up
Ah.
And then as I go in with it,
This is some of the soil we took out of the hole.
it
right?
is, yep. And so as you can see, I'm just taking, as I'm putting it in, I'm just mixing it
Kinda
together.
mixing it up, yeah.
And that's the beauty of using the pot and soil rather than the peat moss, is then otherwise with peat moss, you need to put it into a wheelbarrow and really mix it good. Where with this, you don't have to mix it as much, so it makes your job when you're planting so much easier.
I see.
So we'll just continue to fill this hole back in. And
Yeah.
as I do, I'm mixing the soils together.
Now, do you have to pack it, or is it, you going to leave it loose like that?
I do, no, I'll pack it,
You'll
but
pack Yeah.
first I'll get it all down in there.
Yeah.
One thing, a word of warning when you're planting spruces, always wear gloves and long sleeve shirts. They tend to bite a little bit.
Do they?
Yeah. A little rougher than some of the other trees. So then once I have it all full underneath there, I like to form about a 3-inch tall water well all the way around the outside of the original hole.
Little trench is what you're talking about?
I do.
Uh-huh.
And so after this is packed, and you can see that that's getting packed in there pretty good,
Right.
then we'll take and use
Uh-huh.
the rest of this dirt and make a nice water well all the way around the drip line of the tree. And that'll give us a good water space where this particular water well will probably hold, 25 to 50 gallons of water, and that'll really help this tree get a good start.
And do you want to water it that much?
Yep, once or twice, probably depending on the area you're putting it, once or twice a week you want to fill up this
The well.
water well all the way up and then let it soak down.
And this particular tree is going to be pretty big when it reaches maturity?
About 200 feet, this tree.
Whoa.
Yeah. That'll be long after my time, I'm afraid.
Well, I'm hoping. So again, just kind of mixing the soil together, put
Yep.
the well together.
Mix in some good amended potting soil with the dirt that you already have. Be sure that you don't plant the tree any lower than what it already was when you got it. So you want to plant your soil level in the container or in the ball, the root ball, should be the same once it's planted as the ground level around it. And then build up your water well around it rather than planting it too deep
Yeah.
where it could have a chance to get drowned or something like that. And then in addition, when you're handling the heavy trees, you want to be careful not to hurt yourself or the tree. So have it close to the hole and ready to go before you go to planting.
And as Andy says, don't forget to wear your gloves and a long sleeve shirt. And you'll notice I have no gloves and I've rolled my sleeves up. He's done all the work. There you have it. Planting a tree right here at Johnny Appleseed Greenhouse.